What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we get started, I gotta go ahead and say thank God for another day and another opportunity. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen today, I put together a very special center build in NBA 2K23 on Next Gen. Now, this build, I'm going to be calling it the Sharpshooting Rim Protector, but it's actually going to come out to a stretch glass cleaner, and this build is really going to remind me of Joel Embiid. Now, for this build, we're going to be able to get a 100 plus when it comes down to our 3-point and mid-range shot, interior defense, block, as well as both our offensive and defensive rebound. Now, when it comes down to our animations and abilities, with this build, we're still going to be able to dribble as a center, but we're going to be able to get contact dunks, and more so than anything, you're going to be able to guard any position 1 through the 5 with the way that I'm making it today. So look, I just want to say thank you for those of y'all who did decide to stop by and show your support. And if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family, and last but definitely not least, I would appreciate it if everybody went ahead and commented down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to hit y'all back with a response. And the best thing about this build, in my opinion, is that there's going to be a few different ways that you can actually go about the makeup of the attributes and also the body settings. So when it comes down to the breakdown of this build, the first thing that we need to make sure that we are doing is putting it under the center position. Now, as we go ahead and get into the breakdown of the body settings, I'm telling y'all, you're going to want to be sure to follow along with every single step that goes into it. But if you wanted to make this build out of the power forward, that's definitely something that you can go ahead and try out. Now, in my best interest, I would definitely have to say I like to make big men out of the center positions. I feel like we get better badge counts, but also when it comes down to the actual badges, I like the tiers that we're able to unlock. Now, when it comes down to the height for this one, I'm going to go ahead and leave it at 7 feet exactly. Now, when it comes down to the weight, I'm going to go with 275. And then as for the wingspan, to get the most out of our shooting, I'm going to put this to 7 feet exactly. Now, for the body shape, I decided to go ahead and pick Burley just to take up the most space. Now from here, we should be set to go and move forward, and the first area that I'm going to get into is going to be the physicals. So I'm going to go with the 65 speed, 50 acceleration. As for the strength, I'm going to go with the 53. When it comes down to the vertical, you go with the 79. And then as for the stamina, I'm going to go ahead and put this to a 90. Now, these numbers are adjustable to your own liking and preference. I'm going to leave them like this, but also keep in mind the +4 from the Gatorade facility workout or the gym rat badge. Now, when it comes down to the defensive end, max out that defensive rebound. Go with the 77 for the offensive. We can max out our block to a 93. Go with the 61 steal, 60 perimeter defense to be more balanced. And then as for the interior, go with the 78, and we get a total of 27 defensive badges. Now, for the ones that we did unlock, I like Challenger, also Glove, but for tier 2, I think this is a really special area as well. Now, I'm looking at Box Out Beast. You're also going to be able to get Anchor and badges like that. Now, moving forward, when it comes down to the defensive end, you're going to have plenty of options to pick from when it comes down to badges. And something that I do want to throw out to y'all, do not feel limited from the way that I'm creating the build. If you want to go about any type of setup differently and base it off of your own play style, you definitely can do so. Now, as you can see for the playmaking, I'm going to go with the pass accuracy of a 77. We get 10 badges out of this area, and I like handles for days on the bronze tier. For tier 2, I'm looking at bailout and break starter. Even Clamp Breaker is solid, and if you want to go the extra route to unlock the tier 3 badges, you can definitely go about it that way. Now for the shooting, go with the 92 3-point shot, 77 for the mid-range and free throw. Look, we get Gold Agent 3 on this build, Limitless Range, and then also Hall of Fame Space Creator. Green Machine amped a bunch of great badges when it comes down to the shooting end. And I think that's definitely one of the best parts about this build. We're going to be versatile, not only from offense to defense, but also with what we're able to do on the inside when it comes down to the finishing. Now, I'm really happy that out of a 7-foot build, we do get Agent 3 on the gold tier. As far as when it comes down to this build for the offense, so far we're looking so good, and you did see from the gameplay, we're still going to be able to break ankles regardless of what our playmaking is looking like. So moving forward on this build, just keep in mind if you see something that you want to change, go ahead and do so. Now when it comes down to the finishing, the standing dunk, I'm going to go ahead and put this to an 80. As for the driving, I'm going to go with an 81. 80 for our driving layup, 73 when it comes down to the close shot, and if you make a few minor adjustments, we're going to be able to move that close shot up just a little bit, but we're still going to be able to maintain a solid badge count all around. Now as you can see right here, I'm going to take 1 to 2 ticks off of my strength, go ahead and put this into our close shot. We get a total of 17 finishing badges, and the ones that I'm looking at is going to be Silver Limitless Takeoff, Slithery, Pro Touch, of course, Posterizer, but for tier 3, I'm looking at Masher as well as Rise Up and Fast Twitch. Now take into consideration with this build, we're going to be able to dribble, shoot just as deep and consistent as any build, but then when it comes down to our attributes that we're able to buy and equip, that's going to be a +5. Now, if you do decide to run with a teammate that equips Hall of Fame Floor General, that's going to be an additional +4. Now look, the better we play, our stats are also gradually going to raise. And then on top of all that, the +10 that we get from these 2 separate takeovers. Now look, one that I would consider would be the Sharpshooting, Spot at Precision. The second one, Paint Intimidation, but if you wanted to just be toxic all around, I would really go ahead and first pick See the Future Takeover. The second one, Paint Intimidation, and I think this is one of the best setups that you can go with when it comes down to a build. Now let's go ahead and check out the name to make sure that we made it correctly. And if you followed every single step, we should be getting these 3 comparisons. And as y'all can see, together, we were able to create the Sharpshooting Rim Protector build, which comes out to a Catfish, Stretch Glass Cleaner, and NBA 2K23 on next gen. Now this is what the build is going to be looking like. I just want to say thank you to those of y'all who did stop by and show your support. As you can see, with this build, we're going to be able to do everything from finish, ISO, shoot, and play elite defense on the interior and perimeter. Now, I just want to say thank God for another day and another opportunity. And if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button. Turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family. And last but definitely not least, comment down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from. And I most definitely will be sure to hit y'all back with a response. And with all that being said though, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.